record button and do this properly. I wanted to go over this screen of saying that you can choose. So you're going to be dashing off from here, right? You're swimming to this point. And I wanted to show you, you have to deal with this Ropa and Moblin most of the time. I'll be honest with you, this Moblin most of the time walks like this and he throws. Or he just tries to like ram you by walking at you. So if he's going to stop and throw a spear, when you come down, you want to just block it and then walk up. If he keeps walking forward, you're going to have to slash him and walk up. And if you are quick enough, you will beat this Ropa that's like hopping around here. He's going to like hop up like once, twice, and then he'll be at you. So you do have a little bit of to be a bit fast. And when you are making your way up, you're aiming for this quick warp. You see how my ear is slightly away from the shadow? That's the other one. So this one and that one. So this is the left pixel that works. And I'll get it. This is the right pixel. So that one's like barely, it's like almost on that like lighter, or I guess the darker green, but like just away from the line. Those are the two you're looking for. So when you wrap around, you'd have to move over a little bit to the left to hit the quick warp. So that's kind of what I'm sure. So let's see. So that time you have to hit him, because he kind of was like right at me, and I clearly was one step to the right when I had to do it. That time he kind of just hung off, and you see that I kind of went a little bit too far to the left, so I swung back, and you see I'm back on the quick warp. And you can menu here, because you would be on hammer from hammer pegging there. So use the menu to help you. So that's a block. Unfortunately, I was a little slower about getting around. But then once I realized I was one pixel to the right, I held upright. Yes, I'm recording. Thank you, Senti. I appreciate it. Yeah, unfortunately, Senti was there for me recording it on the wrong video. It had my face at least, but it did not have the right screen. So we're doing it correctly this time. And this guy's stealing all my stuff. My shield, my arrow. So that's where we want to be for that. Alright, the other screen I wanted to go over was the entrance. So the trickiest part is getting this swim. And you see how I kind of hopped off on the right side? So what I want to do is one swim right, one swim upright, and then I guess what I'm really doing is I am getting a swim left with an AB and up right, and then I go a left and up. I was trying to do it slow to see if I could do it without mashing. That's kind of it without mashing. And I don't know how to explain that other than practice a lot. But it really should just be 1, 1, and then a left up. So I think I really just mash AB for the left and the up left, and then it's just left up at that point, because you already have enough momentum to get up. That's the hardest part, in my opinion. So once you get there, you should be able to beat that spike, and then you have to use beams against the... see, I'm a little too slow that time. But that actually kind of worked out, right? And then just beam if you have beams, and then just go to the chest. So let me do the whole screen for you. Dash out. Dash. And cooperate. I'm going to have to do 4 beams, and then you're going to have to slash at that guy. So if this guy pops out and goes left, then you're going to have to slash him like that. And that just depends on where you're standing. If you stand closer to the right, he'll go into that corner first. So I guess we can experiment and see. Alright, so as long as you are like clear of the chest, let's see if this is enough. So, you have to be clear of the chest, essentially. More on his side. Then he'll come at you. Oh no, you have to be fully on his side. Well, there you go. If he comes out here, yeah, it's an aggro thing. I don't think I'm going to get cleaner than that one, so that one was pretty good. Alright, the other room I wanted that I forgot to that I didn't do correctly was lever 2. So the biggest thing I learned from Fox is that you really want to be as high as you can to slash this. So you really should be diagonaling. So you really should be diagonaling up to here to get into the switch. I see a lot of people are, and I mean, when I say a lot, I mean I include myself. You slash it here and then go around. You don't have to do that. You can just hold diagonal all the way up to that spot, and you can hit the switch. So you don't have to have this distance here at all. Just go straight up to that, and then you hit that. Let me hit it with the switch down. You're coming into the room with the switch down, and then bam. And then it's up to you how much you want to gamble of pushing this thing and trying to get a little head start. You kind of want to see this thing wiggle 4 times, and then you can kind of cheat. And I think the most I've ever gotten was like here, maybe. But yeah, if you push it 4 times, you can kind of start to make your way back to the on the backtrack path, and then do the same thing. Slash it here, and I'll show you that if you have beam, you can kind of do it from a distance if you wanted to, as long as you're lined up with this. But I just walk out of here. I know some people like to dash out of here. I don't think it's worth it. I think it's only worth it if like the red guy is like here and he's in your path. So instead of having to go around him or slash him here, then I would probably dash through now. So let's do this room a couple times. So this might actually be one. This is actually a good example that he might be in my way. Yep, he didn't get in my way. So I gotta get used to going this high also. So if this happens, you want to hammer here. So you want to be a little bit under it, because if you slash, you're gonna hit the switch. And I unfortunately hammered the switch too high. But if this guy walks up, you want to hammer him, because the hammer has a better chance of not hitting the switch. So you want to be around this high or low. Or you want to be this at the highest, and then go lower than that. Oh, see, I did it too early. Yeah, don't do that. Don't be so aggressive with the switch. Okay. Well, those are the 3 rooms I wanted to re-go over that I missed before. There was a request for Helmasaur. Alright, so you're going to dash into this room. And what I do is I want to... I don't know what I'm doing. I'm setting up like I'm going to do a hook dash. When he goes forward, I'm going to hammer him 3 times and then set up a spin speed. So I always want to be hammering when he's going downward. Now I know he's going to be there. Unfortunately, it still took a hit. 1, 2, and then I have to wait for him to come towards me. Unfortunately, that did not work out. Well, that's okay. Bad first example. Alright, so I'm just going to get 1, and then I'm going to do a spin speed since he went diagonal. You see how many hits I get as he's coming down? That is huge. See how I'm like still hammering but dodging the fireballs because I know they're going to be clockwise. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I missed the 3rd one. But do you see how when I broke the mask, it was... I got like 2 or 3 hits. I should have gotten 3 hits immediately as the mask exploded. Like, that's the key. Is that you have the time that he's just making his way back to the center. Ah, that sucks, actually. So I'm not going to get what I want. I actually really did not get what I want. I got a little lucky there. There is a timing that if you can meet him in the center when his mass is exploding, you should be able to get 2 or 3 hits. Yeah, see, I was late again. So I guess that's part of it, and maybe that's like a low-key thing I should have mentioned and I don't. When he puts the fireballs out, I actually lean a little bit to the left and I hammer him. and I'm able to hit him, even though the fire is like right in his mouth before it pops out. And I kind of like squeeze by him. So like if he was centered with me right now, I kind of go to about here and I can hit him with the hammer. It's probably something I haven't talked about. So I got 3 hits, I hammered, it's unfortunately to the right, luckily he's not fireballing, but I'm just holding up there. Really trying to make sure. See now, 1, 2, and luckily he stayed still, so that's 3, 4 hits. But even if he did fireballs or if he ran at me, I would have at least gotten 2 hits before he decided one of those decisions. Wow, this is actually really bad RNG. You see how I break? I didn't break the hammer there when I said I was going to. Now I just wait. See how I waited for him? I was like, I'm imagining the worst scenario is he's gonna run at me. So I just waited for him to come to me, and then I just popped him in the nose. I don't think people are waiting enough when it comes to the second phase because of how fast it is. That's good RNG, except for obviously the fireballs. Just see how I can break the mask there. 1, 2, and then... see, I didn't get the third one, but I could have. But you see how that could have been 3 hits if I didn't mess up the third hit? And that's guaranteed. That's a guaranteed 2 or 3 hits. So that's what shows you that this will be a quick fight. 4, 5, 6, 7. So that was 9, 10, 12, 13. So the last couple hits should be right here. 1, 2. He was actually pretty nice there. I should have waited for him to come towards me. 1, 2, 3, wait. And then meet him there. Now you have to be careful about that. When he is in the second phase and he goes left and down, he's going to almost immediately choose a direction. And you saw he was starting to come towards me. So be careful about that. Especially when he's going to go left, right on the second phase. He'll probably immediately do one more movement. And then he'll do either the tail or the fireballs afterwards. So definitely be careful about that. I did almost get got there. It doesn't help when you miss spin. Got 3 hits. Now I'm making my way over here. Unfortunately, he's doing fireballs. But you see how he's going back to the center? Always. He goes out and then he moves back to the center. 1, 2, 3, because he was coming towards me, and unfortunately I missed the 4th hit. But you see how I'm getting the second phase down before he does like 1 or 2 decisions? I was trying to dodge the fireball instead. I just ran into him. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you see how I waited for the fireballs to spawn there? I was slower than my usual rhythm of breaking his mask, so I waited for the fireballs. And then I popped him once, and then I backed away, right? The second and third hit were down here where the heart container was. I kind of just meet him there. You kind of just quickly get the spin speed off, and you kind of want to meet him to the center. There's no reason to chase him to the far right or far left too much. But this is going to be a good example. 1, 2, and then I tried to get him on the side like I told you I do. And I keep messing up the third hit. But at least you see that I'm getting 2 hits guaranteed. Man, I'm just missing the spin speed. If you can see, I'm really barely pressing up now. I pushed up against the wall. 1, 2. I still can't get that third hit. So I know that I'm at 6 hearts there because I haven't taken a hit yet. So I think that's worth taking the fireball. As long as you're not scared, I think that's an aggressive play to make. Because you're surrounded by 3 fireballs. And if he decides to make a right movement and do a tail swing, you know, this is his tail, right? And I'm standing in the center of the fireballs, I'm getting hit anyway. So there are scenarios in the second phase where if we wait long enough, I'm just going to die. So if you're going to get hit anyway, you might as well be trying to swing at him. 9, I move to the right, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 1, 2, 3, wait. No, I didn't catch him. I had to move to a little bit more to the left. But you see, I was waiting for him to come at me. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 16, 17, 1, 2. You see how I hit him there? That's the example I was trying to get before. 3, 4. That was how I kind of, he had fireball in his mouth, but I was able to go to the right of him to pop him in the face. Oh wow, I can't count at all. I was at 9 before. Yeah, this is actually really bad RNG. 1, 2, 3, wait. I was hoping he would come closer to me. He hit me with the left hand there. So maybe if you wanted to play it safe, you could have like backed up to about here. Maybe you had enough time to pop him on that 4th hit there. But hopefully these are all very good examples. How to deal with this RNG. Again, I'm getting bad RNG with the right. I'm trying to hold up as much as possible. So look, breaks 1, 2. Oh, this is a good one. When he stands still, it's pretty nice. I was hoping he was going to shoot fireball, so I could show you that it was 2 hits, and then the 3rd hit I was going to like move to the right of him. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 16, 17, 1, 2, 3, and oh, I messed it up. You saw it though. You saw the ability, right? I was sitting there waiting, and I was too early on the hammer throw. But the 4th hit could have been right here if I timed it right. And what was good about that phase 1 though was how I was like going around the fireballs when he had his mask on. That I would recommend looking back at as well and slowing down. How I was kind of how I was still hitting him and dodging the fireballs at the same time. So the first set of fireballs was good. The second one, I unfortunately missed the hit when he came straight out. Otherwise, it would have been a really good fight. So I hope that gives you some more clarity on how to do this fight. 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna be able to get him. He's just gonna stand still. That's the dream, right? He just stands still like that. That's the dream. Let's see what this time is. 28:58. So you actually should just hold up. There's no reason to be holding left or right. Did a fireball hit me there, or did I roll up into the mouse? 1, 2. Oh, he's gonna stand still again. That's pretty nice. He's being too nice right now. I didn't hit it that time. That's a problem. Well, I do have the spin speed, but I'm definitely slower than I usually am right now, so I'm gonna get a few more interactions. Yeah, I should have waited for the fireball. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I was just 1 hit away from dying, but I do encourage being a bit aggressive and practice being aggressive in the practice act before doing it in an actual run. So, but I hope you can break that down. Maybe slow down some of the ones where I don't get hit as much, and maybe you'll get an idea of how to dodge fireballs during the first phase, and then just, like I said, trying to clean up the second phase as quickly as you can. I didn't really go over Moth, so I might as well talk about him a little bit. What I want to show you is where I stand. I stand... Alright, let me just kill him first, and then I'll show you where I stand. Oh my god, just die. Alright. I am trying to put the sword just below the block. This is where I want to do a double dash poke when he wakes up. So, you fall down, you slash up, and you go up to here, and then you have to recognize which way is the floor moving. Is it moving up? You know, any of the 4 directions. You are trying to aim for this. And I'll be honest with you. You could probably be here, and you probably could be touching it. So it definitely is a window. And what your goal is to kind of hold A when he pops up. And I'll show you the timing of that. And you're going to get 2 hits. And what I do is I actually hold A the whole time. And then I hold right at the same time. And when I do that, I will cancel the dash immediately when Link tries to dash. And you can actually do this with down also. And down might be a good idea because obviously you want to move back to the center. But if you just hold it down as you're doing this A thing at the right time, you will never dash. And I like that a lot. I know some people purposely bonk off the block for the invincibility because that way sometimes Moth like bounces towards you and you might get hit. So you actually might get some invincibility if you purposely bonk off the block, but I don't like it. I want to kill him as quickly as possible, and so I want to cancel this as quickly as I can so I can slash. Hey Kane, how's it going? How was the rest of your Z2? So. Oh my god, the last hit just got away. Always bring up how mirror menu is goated. Yeah, I think mirror menu is very good. I have encouraged my mentees to possibly try out keeping the fire rod here if they don't like to fight Moth at the top. If the Moth is at the top, then just use a fire rod chip. So, you're restarting? Oh, you were dropping your frames. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Hopefully it gets better. Give your internet a restart or something. But let me just start with the first 2 hits. That was 2 hits. Like, you'll see Moth, like, kind of bounce back twice. So it's right here. Oh, I was actually a little too late. So it looks like it's about 2 flutters. No, I only got 1 there. That was a double. Yeah, that was a double. You've been switching to Mire, it works for me. I would like to work on the art of menuing more. Your menu from Fire Rod to Mire? Is that what you mean? So, from Fire Rod to Mire, it's up and left to get to Mire. Hey Sony, how's it going? So you see how I did that? That's the next thing to talk about is the last 2 hits of Moth. So let's say you got the 2 hits. You see how I moved all the way to the right as much as possible? My goal is to push him to the center of the room. Because if I put him anywhere more to the left, I'm going to push him into the spikes to the right. So I over-exaggerate. I almost touch the block. You could even be closer to the right to make sure that you push him to the left, and that counts as a hit. See, I did it again. I moved over here. If I swung here, I would have pushed him into these spikes, and then it wouldn't have counted as a hit. So you want to, like, over-exaggerate and swing in this corner to push this guy into this area, to the left or to the up. That's really, really good. You can have those 20 frames from the Boom Dash and Tower Room if you ever get it. I think it's more than that, personally. Especially if you're doing the boomerang, if you're doing the Boom Dash in the lobby as well as the Boom Dash in the Tile Room, I think it's a lot stronger. It's a lot bigger than that. Well, Senti is one of them. I have Comp Gab, who's in the Bitey Discord. I have BDI, and I have Sword. So I actually... Oh, I did get it. I didn't think I got the double hit, but I did. So I think the first thing to work on is just to feel comfortable to get this double hit. And hopefully you can see from this video on how to do it. If you're not feeling comfortable with this fight, leaving yourself on Fire Rod is a good idea. And the flow chart of that would be if he's going to the top, Fire Rod him to push him out. If he's down by you, swing at him and push him up. I think it's completely fine to keep the Fire Rod out for this fight. I know we talked about how to use the menu for Mamiki. If you're really having trouble with Mothula, then we might have to think of a different method for the Mamiki. Yeah. Bitey's in my group too. He's trying to get the 123. Okay, so then the last thing to talk about is if you're not going to use the Fire Rod, is that you actually wanted to be doing sword pokes when he's at the top. I want to say this is more of an advanced move, so don't feel bad if this doesn't work for you. But if he is up at the top, what generally happens is I walk into him with a sword poke, and then I hold A, and then the next hit is a dash poke, which counts as a sword hit. And that's usually how I have to do hit 3 and 4 if he goes to the top. But I would say that is definitely more of a advanced trick. So I would say you have two choices if you don't want to do the sword poke. One option is, well, he's being nice right now, is to just hit him, and then he'll potentially reset and move somewhere else, right? If he hangs around here, he's going to do an attack, right? So if you slash him, he has a chance of moving around and not doing an attack, and hopefully moves down. Otherwise, you're just going to have to be sitting here waiting for him to come down, and if he does attacks, that just costs more time. So by slashing and then backing away, he has a better chance of popping out again if you don't want to use the Fire Rod. Alright, good luck with your Z2. I hope your internet pays off better. How you doing, Sony? Okay, so I slashed to reset him and see he went down that time, and then he went down again. So that was a good example, right? I slashed him to push up, and then I backed away. And then I was able to get him twice as he moved down. Obviously, that's not always the case, right? Sometimes he just likes to hang out at the top. That time he went down. Now, if you can do it, here's another thing. If you can push him against this block, that will count as hurting him. As long as you don't push him against these spikes, you can use this block to your advantage. So I kind of moved to the right a little bit because he was kind of like right here, centered. And so I pushed him like that into the block, and that counted as a hit. And you can do the same thing with these blocks, but that's a lot harder in my opinion. I think it's a lot better to be standing here to push him to the center. I think that's really it when it comes to Mothula. So I think we speed ran that little section. What do I want to do now? I have a few choices. We can go back to the Gab review and maybe do two or three splits and rip that apart. I could probably do that in like an hour. Ah, shoot. Oh, that's on me. I'll at least do this room again. If I have to go back and redo the other rooms, I'll do that on my own time. That's my fault. So yeah, this is me pushing and diagonaling into it. And then that's my diagonal that I'm describing. So let me just do this again. Diagonal into the block. So I'm basically pushing the block here, and then switching to a diagonal and walking into the space, and that's how I'm able to dodge the fireball. Yeah, shoot, I'm gonna have to redo those rooms. And you can also see that I'm not going up against the wall. I'm gonna do this. Cancel, diagonal into it, and that's what allows me to go. I will tell you that this hammer dash only saves 4 frames. So if you don't want to go for the hammer dash, you should follow the hole at the top, like to fall here and then go underneath the block. So it's not that important to get this hammer dash off. I see a lot of people not bother with it. Just to point that out there. How are we doing with this room? Is it kind of making sense? BDI, I should tell you that you should walk down a little bit before pushing the first block. Just a little bit. Yeah, now you can diagonal into it. I would say be a little bit closer to the wall, BDI. That's it. That was it, though. Sorry, Cap. You hit 50 things on the way there.
Yeah. Cool.
Do you kind of feel the diagonal as you're walking, pushing the block? Does it kind of make sense? I know
Yeah.
it feels a little weird, I admit.
It's just that it seems to be almost slower than what I'm doing.
All right, well,
But
nope, that's fair. If it's
I'm
not
doing...
clicking, so you're walking, huh? That's what you usually do? You get what, a 1043?
It's more dangerous.
I got a 1037 that time. I'm interested. I'm willing to experiment.
Yeah, that's more like...
So you just walk this, huh? It doesn't look that much different, honestly. Oh, I'm getting bopped.
Using the other method. It's more dangerous, for sure.
Yeah, it looks like I'm losing 20 frames from doing that, besides it being more dangerous, but if it works for you, you should always do what's best for you, as well as what you find more efficient. How often do you feel like you get through this without getting hurt? That's the question.
Oh, I don't really know.
Okay. Fair question.
I do the hammer dash. But I was wondering if it was fast.
Yeah, the hammer dash saves 4 frames if you like hammer dash immediately from falling down. That's why I will tell most people probably not worth doing, unless they feel really greedy about the hammer dash, and just fall down the hole as low as possible, and then you can just press down and A, and then just kind of nudge that pot. Yeah, so Senti, if you are going to go for the hammer dash, you should actually fall in the center of the pot if you're going to go for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you need a direction, or can you just AY?
As long as you're facing right, you do not need a direction. So as long as you fall down the hole facing right, you're fine. Yeah, you can just YA immediately. Yeah. Yeah, some items you cannot turn in, and hammer is one of them. So you have to be facing the direction you're gonna hammer dash. I guess it's too big of an item, too heavy to turn dash. Unlike a fire rod or another item. I guess you can't do that with hookshot either, right? Yeah. It's a tricky room, especially when you're trying to time how you want to dodge the fireball with the Medusa head. So that's kind of why I found what works for me, but if there's a different way that you want to slow down a little bit, I can understand that if you're getting hit by the Medusa shot. Any questions about this? But I think I'm ready for the next room. Okay, let's talk about getting the hook shot. Is anyone fancy enough when they are doing it, they're trying to hook shot the key pot? Have you guys tried to do that? I know there's a
Yeah, I
lot
go
going
for
on.
it.
You're going for it? So basically, what you're doing is when you are lining up with this statue, when you open the chest, and when I press L and R to cancel this, I'm gonna hold down right. And when you hold down right to hit this edge, I can hook shot this pot. So this is all set up to be pixel perfect to hook shot this. That's what this whole setup is to do that. And then you'll be able to pick this up, touch the key, and then our goal is going to be to dash towards to the left and then make our way out of the room. That is our goal. So yeah, I think this is just a quick hop. Yeah. So I'm gonna line up. I'm gonna be holding down right out of this to the spot. Hook shot, and now this time I actually have to slash and then dash out. And I'll explain why I have to do that in a moment. And then I hook, and I'm out of the room. Alright, so now you're gonna ask me, how did I know to slash before dashing down, right? Well, I am looking at a water droplet. See that water droplet that is to the bottom right? It's kind of in the exclamation mark at the moment. If it is out, that means that when I hop off after the small key, I have to slash. So because this is in that like middle ground that it's like coming kind of out of the water, if I'm super fast, I wouldn't have to slash. But just for argument's sake, let me do this with a slash. So I get to this point, hook shot, and then I'm going to slash and then dash out of it. Let me see if I can show you one where it's just a shadow. If it's just a shadow, you can... No, I think I'm just going to have to redo the RNG. If it stays a shadow, you can just dash immediately and you don't have to do the slash. Let's see if I can beat it. I'm going to try. No, I wouldn't have beaten it. I was considering it, but... Okay, see, he stayed in the ground. Still a shadow. And now I can make it across. So there's a lot going on in this room, don't get me wrong. This is a very complicated room, so we should definitely break it down into pieces. So maybe the first piece should be just trying to make sure you're getting the hook shot to the small key good, and then we can talk about the water droplet afterwards. So let me know what I can do to help break it down just a bit. But I think as long as you're getting the small key to... You're hook shotting to the small key, I think that's a very good start. Yeah, I think you're a little high there. Senti. Don't think you got the down right out of it. Make sure you're holding down right when you're mashing L and R. Like right when the text box happens, start holding down left, down right, and then mash L and R to cancel the hook shot text box.
Okay.
Yeah. That looks a lot better. Now I think you're going to get it. Yep. The other thing I want to mention, Senti, is I quick hop off of the top, and then I dash on the water. I saw you doing 2 dashes before, so...
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah. I like I said, there's a lot of small things about this room. Yes, that's a lot better. Nice. I think you got it still, though.
Okay.
Yep. And then, as I've mentioned before, as long as you're touching the left side of the key, you don't have to walk all the way on where the pot is to pick up the key. And that might help you edge out that water droplet that's going to fight you. So, if you feel good about this half, now you need to look at where the water droplet is when the hookshot text box is. Is it still in the ground where it's a shadow? Then you're going to just dash immediately down. If there is a water droplet poking out, or is alive, then after you fall down to the left, you're going to have to slash down and then dash first, because the water droplet's going to hit you out of your dash.
it's a shadow, it's okay. Right?
Say that again.
If it's a shadow, it's okay. Do I dash after the quick up?
Yes. Yep, you dash out of the quick hop. It's in the ground. Should be able to beat that. So you were just a little bit slow, Gab, when it came to the 2 pots on the right. You can throw that pot and hookshot a little bit quicker. And if you can pick up the second pot to get the key and then grab it and then dash left, you should be able to beat that water droplet. I see that BDI. That was nice.
There's a shadow. What now?
Since it's in the ground, you should be able to just dash down when you jump off.
Okay.
Are you supposed to dash this left or right back to the key?
No,
like,
that's a
stairs?
walk, unfortunately. Or I don't know if it's unfortunate, but no, it's a walk there. Sorry, it's a little hard to watch all 3 screens at the same time, but I'm trying my best. Okay, what you just did, BDI, I do all the time, so don't be. It's very easy to hookshot that statue. Yeah, I think you're a little too high there, Senti. Yeah, that guy sometimes gets in the way. It's pretty rare, Gab, that guy will pop you out of your dash. Just redash once you and try to use the iframes, but that definitely does happen, unfortunately. I think you got a time Gab after you hop off to be like holding down and then dashing immediately, because I think you should have been able to squeeze by that last one. There you go. Nice, Gab. There you go. Yeah, I was wondering if you fixed the BDI. That was close. Yeah, you got to make sure you're holding up from there. Yeah. This is a tough room, so I highly recommend practicing this. So that one actually, BDI, you did not have to do the slash. You could have just dashed immediately because it was still in the water. See, it's still in the water. You can just dash immediately when you hop off.
That was on my to get back up and fix it.
No, I understand. Yeah, I'm telling you 6 different things at the same time, so it's hard to keep track of everything. All right. I think you guys basically do understand it, though. It's just going to come down to consistency now. So I want to talk about the next room with the statue. I think this is the hardest room in Swamp, personally. Mostly because I want you to grab these arrows that are in this pot, and we're going to get around this jelly, this turret that's going to shoot us, and this fire snake that are all going to get in the way. But if you take this exact pathing I'm about to show you, no matter what RNG you get, you should be fine. So the first thing to mention is you want to hook dash this switch. So I can't use my sword right now. There's something about being in the hook dash fit that picking up this pot is easier. I don't know why, but that's just the rule. So then you kind of push this to be about there. And I think when it's like solidly on the switch, that's when you can hook this pot. So as long as this red jelly is out of your way, hooking this pot is the best choice after you push this switch here. Push the statue. So that's the first thing that I want to work on, is just making sure you're getting that hook dash off. You're just doing some diagonals to get this to the top. And you want to just push this to be cleanly on the button. And then hook shot down. So let's start with that. And we'll go over the harder part of the screen. I guess I should have mentioned, if he gets in the way, you're better off just lining up on the right side, but almost by the water, and dashing down. I should have mentioned that. That's the backup if the red guy gets in the way of you hooking down. So yeah, I would just say, Gab, in that situation, just dash down from here. That was not a friendly red jelly there, Santi.
Not at all.
Yeah. Just a little bit more of a push. You see how there's a little bit of the button you can see, BDI? You want to push it just like one... Yeah, just by pushing it one more pixel, you'll be able to hook that pot a lot easier. You don't have to go around the statue, if that makes sense. Now you can hook the... Exactly. Exactly. You look down, and then you can just hook the pot. Exactly. Well, as long as the red jelly's not being a jerk. Nice.
Okay.
Yeah, no, you got it, Gab. Very nice.
Because,
Senti.
you know, what you want to do is push the statue as little as you can. So as soon as the door opens, you want to stop pushing it, but you have to be able to push it 1 pixel more.
Yeah, you want to push it just a little bit. Oh, I got sucked by that door. That's crazy. Yes, you want exactly. You want to push it just a little bit more so you can hook that pot at the bottom. That's exactly right. Or of course you have to, dodge him. But yes, you're right. You have to push it just a little bit more. Okay, so the second part of this room is you want to be as high as you can. So you're lined up with this top wall when I dash. And my goal is to pick up the pot almost a little bit on the left side. So I'm going to be above the pot, and I'm going to grab the pot on the left side. And then as I pick up the pot, I'm going to walk right. So that way it gives me enough time to pick up the arrows. And I'm either going to throw the pot at the blue jelly, or I'm just going to throw it to the right and dash out of the screen. And when I move to the right, it gives me enough space that if the fire snake goes along the left side, it doesn't hurt me. So that's the key of that. So when I go over here, see how I grab the pot and I move to the right? This fire snake cannot hurt me now. And that's the key about this. So I'm waiting for the fire snake to be nice. See how he's not going to hurt me? That's huge. Is having this space of leaning a little bit more to the right so you can go straight out of this door. And of course, the turret is also not going to hit me. I'm going to be too fast for that. So if you want to make a save state like I did, you can do it after the statue, and the right side is always going to cooperate the same way. Like the right side, they're actually not moving. So if you wanted to make a save state over here, and then just practice this part, you can. So let me do it again in full speed. Pick up the pot, move to the right, dash out. Oh, I didn't move to the right enough. I needed to move to the right a little bit more. But you see how I can even beat this fire snake out of the door. So like, once you do this movement of moving to the right and you grab the arrows, when you dash up, the fire snake is never going to catch you. You're too fast for the fire snake, even if he tries to beat you to the door. This is honestly the worst RNG if you don't do what I'm telling you, and I'm obviously not going to get a hit. So I'm kind of like immediately after I throw the pot, I'm kind of just dash turning out because I don't think you want to be too high because the turret might hit you, I think. I can't, let me see. I think you're actually fine. That's interesting. The nudge actually caused me pain. Yeah, I guess you don't want to walk up too much because that is slower, and then the fire snake might beat you to the door. Ooh, I've actually never seen that RNG. Interesting. BDI, we're dashing up the left door, by the way.
Oh yeah, I'm just stupid.
No, it's okay, it's okay. No, it's alright. There you go. Nice, Gab. That was really good.
Easy.
Nice. All right. You guys want to put it all together in one one flow of the whole room now? But yeah, no, that looks good, Gab. Hook Dash is the name of it. Yeah.
It was patched.
Oh yeah, what happened to your screen there?
I don't know. I probably broke it.
Yeah. All good.
Yeah. Nice.
No, this is a good room to practice. So I'm glad we went over this. Nice, BDI.
I'll just reset.
Yeah. So that one, Cynthia, I probably would have threw a pot at the blue jelly just to be like, when's he gonna stop sparking? You know, just yeah. There's no reason to be. I mean, it worked out. Don't get me wrong, but as a safety measure, I probably would have been like, get the hell out of my.
Sometimes it does get in the way.
Yeah, and you know what? He is on that arrow magic heart arrow bomb, and maybe when you pop them upwards, you get some more arrows. You know, so you actually have a good drop there. Yeah, the jellies are on the skeleton, Dodongo, Crow, Zizak prize pack, the second variety pack. Yeah, that one Senti I probably would have dashed along the right side for those red guys. Yeah. I think a hook shot there is fine, BDI. It didn't cost you that much, and you got a bomb out of it, so that's pretty nice. Yeah. Alright, I think you guys are getting this. I am good to move on if you guys are.
Yes.
Good. Yeah. Alright, so C room. That's just after restock room. I just thought I would bring this up, that if you wanted to, you want to move 1 pixel to the left, and you can kind of nudge this. So I kind of treat this like a fence dash. See how I'm on 32? Okay, so it's 78, I guess. So I want to get over to 77. Yeah. So what I do is I press down left and A, and I try to do it. But I know that other people... Let's see if 71 works. Yeah. You can kind of like take a few steps over. It actually has a pretty big window, doesn't it? I'd actually recommend doing this. I should probably be doing this, honestly. But being able to dash out of this room is really cool. If you can find something that works for you.
How do you do
6C also works. That's crazy. So what I'm doing is I'm holding left and taking a couple steps. Yeah, so 72 doesn't work. 71 work? 71 does work. 72 doesn't. That's the bomb. So there are specific X coordinates that do work and they don't work. That's essentially what's going on here. It looks like 72 is the only bad one right now. Let me see what 73 does. 73 also works.
I will go
70 doesn't work. 6 definitely. So it looks like there are like 5 out of 8 pixels that work if you press left. So just press left out of the screen, and then as long as it's not 70 or 72, you don't bonk. 75 bonk? Oh, 75 bonks also. 74 is good. So try to find, I guess, a good visual cue that works best for you. I feel like if I just do left dash Yeah, left dash doesn't work. You have to be moving 3 pixels to the left out of the door to get this. Yeah. 72 doesn't work, I said. Alright, I was kind of fumbling a little bit of getting it, but essentially, I'll say 75% of the pixels work. And so as long as you can see a visual cue that gets you through the door, I would say that's worth going for. Because that can save up to 15 frames. It's unfortunate that stepping out of the door is not one of them, because that would be so much easier that we have to move over. I admit, it's very hit or miss, and I think that you have to just like memorize which ones are going to work the best. So it's just that it's really quick, you know? I don't know if memorizing certain pixels is a good idea versus not. I feel like I'm gonna just have a rhythm to be like, okay, I'm definitely on 74 when I do this, and I'm just kind of gonna YOLO it personally. Is it working with, are you doing left dash or are you doing down left dash? See, I feel like left dash doesn't work for me. That's interesting. So that means, so if I'm coming out of here, it should work on 76. Oh my god, get out of here. Oh, you're right. It does work with a fence dash. So 76 is a good one. No, that's actually very good, BDI. Yeah.
The problem is if you go one too far, it bonks.
75 is bad. Yeah.
Oh, that might be why down left bonks. Because then if you go one too far, you go on to 76.
What is 77? 77 also does. I think that's why down left is good. Because down left will do 1 pixel for 77. So as long as you're moving 1 or 2 pixels off, you'll be able to get through the door. I know that Corey Urok has a different setup, and he doesn't do the down left or the fence dash. He kind of steps into the room a little bit, but I'm sure he memorized, 5 or 6 pixels is the right amount. But I figured I'd at least show you guys that. Again, it's like what did I say? 15 frames, a quarter of a second if you hit it. Okay. For this room, does it reset when I do this? No, it doesn't. Okay. So what I kind of do is I kind of mash A, B, Y, and then I take this hit every time, but I usually lean up against the top wall as much as possible. Even if this center guy gets in my way, I usually swim into him because of the current. Yeah, so I just kind of swim into him, and then I cancel with an up when I get to there.
Wait, faster to not dodge it.
Which guy?
The first one.
The first one? I feel like the first one just always hits me. I feel like I can't dodge the first one. Sometimes I can get underneath him. Yeah? Why don't you show me that? 'Cause I always have trouble dodging him. Ow, he actually didn't move for you. You swim around.
Yeah.
As long as you're not messing up your left momentum, I think you're fine. So I don't blame you if you want to go for that. I just feel like consistently he gets in my way most of the time. Like that. That's usually what happens to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just don't want to lose too much left swimming by diagonaling out. So I usually just take the hit. But if you feel comfortable swimming around him, then go for it.
It's because it's a beam to dodge him.
Yeah, it is a little bit. But I just figured I'd bring this up and say that you really don't lose too much time for taking the hit because of the current is going to automatically push you into swimming into the correct direction. And that's swamp for you. So yeah, let's move on to Mire. Does anyone have any swamp questions that I didn't go over with rooms or anything? I don't mind if you guys want to look at about that.
I feel comfortable about it right now, and then with Moogle's lesson earlier, it's definitely coming together.
Sure. I think this is a very difficult split. Like, you're not gonna die too often, but there's just a lot of things that run in your way. And so if you just recognize which pattern you're gonna get and react to that, that is the trick to getting faster at this, is getting hit less. And I know that's like a very obvious thing to say, but one thing I noticed when I have a good swamp is I'm like only 1 or 2 hearts away from full health when I leave, when I'm fighting Argus. And that's usually my go-to lesson of like, oh, I had a good swamp. So I guess that would be what I would recommend, is if you did the whole split with a timer and you notice you're at 6 hearts or something, look back in your recording and see where you got hit and see if you can review that room, or feel free to ask questions and I'm more than happy to go over a room we didn't go over. All right, let's talk about some Mire. I think Mire 2 is the first one we're talking about. How do people feel about getting this on the first go of getting all the whiz ropes? People like this room? I think this is a fun room to go to.
I like this room. I think it's a fun room. I've been working on trying to get that bottom popo, but I kind of got to be fast with it. It's kind of difficult, but.
All right, so you've been trying to get the bottom. So you've been trying to get the bottom popo before.
Yeah, before I go up. And get
Okay.
the whiz rope.
So I will tell you that it definitely makes the room more consistent, but it is very difficult to do. And a lot of people do not go for that. But I have no problem showing that as well, if you are interested. But for going for sub 90, I would probably advise not doing that. But it is absolutely... So what Senti is talking about is that when I come up here, I actually beam this popo down here first, because this popo likes to be a jerk and hide underneath this beamos right here, and you can't beam past that. So when you try to go get him, and he's hiding over there, right, you just can't get him. So that's what you're trying to avoid by doing this. So by catching this guy early, helps when you do it. You basically eliminate that RNG. Now what that does is it causes a problem here. Now you have to be faster about these whiz ropes. And as you can see, I catch this whiz rope with a slash like this, just as I'm like in line with this column. And I am trying to fire rod and get over to kill the whiz rope here as fast as possible. It probably saves like 20 frames if you can do it. And obviously it'll save more time if the popo is really stupid and hides below the beamos. But I think that's a very challenging trick to do. But I'm more than happy to show both, or do both for you, if that's something you're interested in. One thing that will occur if you go for this harder strat is that you will learn that when you cancel your dash, you have to wait like 10 frames to slash. There is a lockout period when Link dashes that when you cancel your dash, you have to wait 10 frames before Link can slash. So as you...
Desert.
Yeah, that happens in Desert 2, right? With the Popo Genocide. So when I dash up, I have to wait for this slash. Just a little bit. Not much, but it's enough that you'll say to yourself, hey, why did my slash not come out? And it was because you were going too fast. So, alright. After saying all of that, I'll say let's work on the first method, and if you're interested in trying the second method, you can definitely do that as well. I didn't pop them. How do people feel about the slightly slower method? When I say slightly slower, I'm talking about like 20 seconds. 20 frames. 20 frames. Sorry, not 20 seconds. Nice. That was really good, Senti.
I don't know. I always do it in 2 cycles.
You always do it in 2 cycles. All right. Is there a Wizrobe in particular that's kind of annoying? Okay.
You got 2 on the left.
All right. So what you want to do after you slash the left Wizrobe is you want to fire rod right because your beams are too big and it hits the popo. You want to be to the right of the railing. Yes, that fire rod shot you did right there, that's where you want to be when you fire rod to the right. And you need to, when you dash up, you want to be a little bit more to the left because of that railing. Yep, a little bit more to the left there. You're a little too high, Gab, when it comes to the fire rod shot to the right, and that's why it's hitting the popo. Gab, let me show you something. When I am going after this guy, I'm here when I slash. And then I can fire rod to the right and then catch these two. So I think you want to stand here. And what's cool is if you wanted to, you don't even have to face him. You can actually get a slash a little bit lower. You'll just have to step up a bit to fire rod over that railing. And I'm pretty much right on top of that railing when I fire rod right. Right about here.
Yeah. That was
Cool. I think you were a little too low that time. Unfortunately. Nice one, BDI. Almost. You just had to be a little bit higher. You would have gotten the top Wizrobe, but you were right there. And then you would have cleaned up the rest of the popos. You got him. You don't have to move too far to up or to the right like you did. As long as you walked straight up, you would have slashed right and would have gotten him. Your beams are really large, just to put that out there. So I want you to be, when you do the up dash, Gab, just be a little bit more left so you don't nudge that railing that's sticking out. There you go. That's it. There you go. You got it.
Get wrecked.
Nice. Alright. Does anyone want to try the harder strat, or are you guys good with that? I'm letting you know it's much tighter to nail that fire rod and kill the last wizard.
Right now.
You're good? Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
No, listen, I always encourage going for the harder strats, and then, as you can see, well, he almost tried to for BDI, get behind the beam most, and it can be very frustrating in a speed run. So I totally get it, but hopefully the popo behaves and you can just beam him like that. Cool. Alright, what's the next room? The jelly switch. Bari key is the name of so let me change that. Let me change that to Bari key so everyone knows what I'm talking about. Hopefully you still have beams at this point. There's pretty rare reasons why you would get hit. Maybe this fireball will get you, but hopefully you still have beams by this point. But I dash in, beam that, and then I can grab the key. So the goal is to actually hit the Bari first, right around here. And when I beam him, he dies right around there. And then that way the key drops here. So that way, it's beam, slash, and I pick up the key, and then I open the door. So 511. So in that RNG, he kind of moved a little bit down, but because he got hit by the beam, it wasn't a problem. Right? The beam hits him. So that time the key was a little bit lower, so I had to go down a bit. But your goal is to try to get the key as close to the door as possible. Grab him and snap out. I don't think it's too bad of a room, but I figured I'd mention it. Yeah, it's pretty unfortunate RNG there. Yeah, it's much bit easier one for you, Gab. And if there is an unfortunate reason you don't have beams, you may have to be a little bit slower in this room. Because you'll probably push him down, and then you have to dodge that turret. Because that turret's going to get in your way if you push him down and have to go get the key in the bottom left corner. So just be careful about that. There you go, Gab. Yeah, I don't think it's too bad, but it's definitely worth just looking over. Alright, let's talk about this frickin' slug. This slug is a jerk, and he was going to curse some of your runs. It's up to you, but the fastest thing you can do is dash down out of this door. If this slug is really annoying, you can definitely walk and just maybe lose a half a second. So I'll just give you that option. And your two choices are the slug stays down, or the slug does what he just did right now. You see how he's right by that column? What I want to do here is slash him and kill him. And what's cool is when you face right, you don't get hit by this this turret. If I was facing down, I think I get hit. Oh, maybe I have to be lower. But basically, when Link is facing left or right, his hitbox is not as damaging. If I face down here, yeah, I get hit. That's kind of why you can slide by the Dodongo fire by facing left. It's the same principle that by facing right. So you dash down, you watch where the slug goes. If he doesn't get in your way, then you just kind of run up and grab this. If he does get in your way, you want to slash him at that spot. And that's a really good thing to practice, because sometimes he will get in the way or just drop a bomb like that. So I know that Moogle was talking about dashing down. I'm a little worried about that. Like if the slug goes down, it goes to up, you should go down here and dash around him. I really haven't experimented with that too much. Because I feel like there's a chance he could still go down and drop a bomb, and I'm a little worried about that. But yeah, I just got hit by the turret there. But Moogle's a smart guy, so you can definitely try that if you see the slug go up. And then the last part about this is if this guy in any way gets in your way, just fire rod him. Because you're about to get a full magic anyway, so it's not going to be a cost to you when it comes to magic. So as long as, if he is anywhere in your path and you're worried about him, don't slash him, just fire rod him. And then pick up the large magic afterwards. So just pop him, pick up the magic, and get out of the room. Yeah, see what happened, BDI? You popped him, and now you got two little annoying jerks in your way. So that's exactly, yeah, just fire rod him. Perfect. Yep, you got a nice clean path there, Gab. Nothing to worry about. Yeah, that's scary as heck. That's pretty scary. I like that you... Health is the most important thing in Mire, so I do approve just, you know, shooting fire rod shots, grabbing that pot on the bottom if the slug goes back up for some reason. But yeah, that red guy shows any sense that he's going to be in your way, just fire rod him. Just like that, Gab. Perfect. Yep. And like I said, if the slug starts to be like really annoying, you can definitely walk out of this doorway. I don't think it's needed, but I've seen some people just like they don't want to deal with the stress of it. So, in my opinion, that's one of the hardest rooms in Mire. It has the most RNG to it. All right, we ready to talk about Spark Gamble? Does anyone go for the Spark Gamble? Do we know what I'm talking about?
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
you
let
want to walk down, so you can beat the spark over here by that block.
Yeah, so the spark gamble in itself is that you're going to dash here, and then you're gonna well, if the fire snake, of course, doesn't get in my way. He rarely gets in the way. This is the gamble that I'm going to menu here next to this spark, and I'm not going to get pushed back too much. So that's the gamble. I get through him by timing the menu when I'm like inside him. I may not get pushed back all the way, and it has to do with him turning at this exact point. So, nah, I'm not getting it off the bat. So let me just do the whole room again. Or actually, maybe I'll just dash here.
I definitely do a different strat.
I'll show you both a strat. See, that time he didn't push me back as much. That time, see, I went through. I took the damage, but I continued through the to the stairs. That time I got through as well. This is what we're talking about when it comes to the gamble, is that you kind of prevent the knockback from occurring. And sometimes you just get through. But this is what I'm talking about. And basically, you're eating one heart, right? You should be at full beams, and you're eating one heart. And then in the spike room with the chest, you're gonna eat 3 hearts. So I would have been at 7. And then there's one pot that I'm gonna pick up a heart, so I'll be at 8. And 8, I feel comfortable with fighting Viddy. So that's the math you should be saying in your head of, are you good with fighting Viddy with 6, 7, 8 hearts? And then you should be able to go for this. Any questions about this before I do an alternate way of not taking a hit? Okay.
If the fire beam goes right.
Okay. If the fire beam... Yeah, if this fire snake meets you here, I just cut up here and dash up this lane here. That's a good point. So that first time the fire snake got in my way, right? He went to the right here. He was just like moving this way. I will just move up to this lane here and then dash across this way to the stairs. Yep, that is a plan B, because there's no way you're going to damage me through the fire snake and the bubble at the same time. No, good question. So that one exactly. See what you have right there, Gab? You take the top. Yep, you take the top lane there instead. Exactly. No, good question. Good question. All right, so the alternates. I guess I have to reload this. There are 2 ways to do this. I'll show you the harder way. What you want to do is go as high as you can along this bar, and this bubble will not hit you. So what I'm trying to do, everything wants to hit me right now, is I want to menu around here, so that way I can be as high as I can against this railing, and you can dash right and then dash down. So let me do that all in one go for you. Go over here, menu, and then dash right and then dash down. It loses about 20, like a half a second, I think, when you do the whole thing. So the first thing you should do is kind of just walk to where you need to go. Oh, see, I went too far. I went too far. So it's kind of like it's just like the railing right after this like space, if that helps. Or maybe it's along the second bar. Maybe if that helps you. You see how there's like a railing right here on the higher level. So you want to be on the top of this. Right here, this lane. It doesn't help when you bonk. I think this strat is very good, by the way. Yeah, that was way too high. As long as you know where you need to pause to dash right, it's a very good strat. But I know there's it's like very congested. There's a lot of things going on this screen which are really annoying. But I do not believe that there is a fire snake in your way either. It's just that one bubble. As I get hit by a fire snake. That was pretty rare. But in general, it's just that one bubble. Just a little too low, Gab. Yeah, you really have to make sure you're in that top part of the lane as much as possible to not get hit by the bubble. So that's the part you have to, like, fix. So the other way to do this, if you don't want to do the dash, is you kind of have to wait. You kind of just walk down and maybe you do like a slash and you kind of wait for the bubble to go by. So you kind of just walk this path instead of dashing. And then by getting to the spot you need to, you can then dash in that lane. So you just like walk down and maybe you do like one slash and then you can make your way to it. So if you don't feel comfortable trying to time that pause with the hook shot, then you can just walk to the spot you need to dash left. I don't know. Maybe that's like a half a second, approximately. It's not too bad. I don't know. I'm an aggressive gambler. I kind of like the spark gamble personally. Oh, you're brave, Senti, to do it without the menu. Yeah, I like to use the pause to hook shot on that screen to make sure you get lined up with that turn to the right. Yeah, just pause a little earlier. Just a little higher BDI. You were just like one step too far down, unfortunately. There you go. That was good, Senti. And there you go, BDI. That was also really good. Good job. You're just a little too high a gap. That works, Gab. Nice. Yeah, just a little too low, Senti, unfortunately. BDI, you want to make sure you're leaning on the left side. Yeah. As long as you nudge that fire snake won't bother you. Nice. You got that was a good spark gamble. Nope. He's in the way. Yep. Take the alternate path. Perfect. Nice BDI. I know of a lot of top runners that take the not the spark gamble route, the dash right and dash down. So whatever you feel more comfortable with, you should do. They're very interchangeable. All right. Any other questions about this before I move on? I just wanted to go over maybe the Fire Snake room and Vitreous, but we can of course talk about Spooky if you want. I feel like all of you do Spooky pretty well from what I've seen. Does anyone have any questions about Spooky or anything? Because everyone goes for that, right? You don't go.
It's honestly a lot easier in the speedrun when you can use the pause buffer to fire right.
Oh, 100%. I do think the start is much easier. Yeah, I know what you mean. Trust me, there's a lot of people that I tell people that when you speedrun, the menu is like almost required for certain rooms to line things up. Senti, you said you don't really go for it?
No, I said I feel comfortable with it.
I didn't hear you correctly. Okay, I'm glad to hear that. Gab, what about you? How do you feel about all the spooky rooms?
It's alright.
It's alright. If there was one I would go over, it would probably be Action 2. I have found it more comfortable to do a slash. I like to push this guy out of the way, and then fire rod, and then just dash immediately. So I kind of just like go to where he is, fire rod, and then dash, and then I'll move back down. That's what I find to be very comfortable and safe for me. So I see where he is, I slash, and then I fire rod, and then dash immediately. If you want to be really sweaty, You can like move down and then you can kind of dash out of the room. I just know that some people walk down too far and then the spooky won't happen. So that's why I'm afraid of doing that in a run. But I found more consistency with that. I know some people like to walk around the skeleton. I find that sometimes spooky doesn't work. I don't know why, but it doesn't. There's something different about that when I hit the anti-fairy, or I don't know if the skeleton does something, but I have found a lot more consistency with shoving the skeleton out of the way when I do this.
Yeah, that's usually how I do it, but I often miss the anti-fairy.
You missed the anti-fairy? So I'm basically going exactly where the skeleton is. That's my visual lineup. I have not messed that up in a very long time with going for this strat.
I am going to tap out. I'm getting sleepy. I will catch the rest of the VOD.
Alright, sounds good. Have a good night,
All right,
Santi.
thank you.
Yeah, no, you're very welcome. So you're a little too low there, BDI. That's why those last two weren't working. Oh, I actually want to show you this next screen, Gab. You're gonna like this. There's a cool walking strat in this room too. So I see you, BDI, going across the top, and let me show you an alternate way of doing this room. You can actually just walk this room. So that gives me a 617. 6 flat that time. At that time I wasn't on the left side. You want to hit the left side of the torch. 558. Oh, we're getting faster. I'm just holding up left out of that and then diagonaling to it. And compared to the fastest strats, I got a 608. So it loses only like 10 or 15 frames. Like, I know some people really have a lot of problems with this room, and I think this is a very good, quick way to just get out of this room without any problems. And I like it a lot better than dashing around the outside of the torch. Well, it helps when I don't push against the torch, I guess. So I honestly encourage that. It's about the same as as dashing around the torch if you don't want to challenge the spike. Alright, the fastest way is to kind of walk into it like that. And I know a lot of people are really afraid of the spike. So I wanted to show you guys that walking method. Because it's actually virtually the same. Oh, it helps when you hit the left side of the torch, though. Don't think you can dash out of that, right? Yeah, if you try to dash, it turns into a bunny. So, I wanted to show you guys that. As an alternate. Yeah, so let's talk about the next screen. Unfortunately, I don't have a save state for that, so let's make a save state. I kind of feel like Vidi is like the first boss we're gonna like go over because I feel like it's a really important one that people don't do. So for this screen here, you want to hold up and do a dash and cancel with a up left, and that's what's gonna get you around this anti-fairy. So that's the beginning of this. You take about 3 steps up, like yeah, or maybe 2. Yeah, maybe it's more like 2. And you should be able to dodge this anti-fairy. So that's the first half of the screen. If you don't feel comfortable with this, there is a really interesting safety that you can purposely bonk over this anti-fairy. And then just hold up, and you won't have to deal with the anti-fairy at all. So if this screen is ever like really annoying, just bonk on purpose, and then hold up, and you'll get around it. It's a cute little safety. Does anyone not get powder? Should we talk about fake powdering?
I
I
don't
get
get.
pebble and mushroom.
I'm sorry, you kind
I
of
don't
said
get either.
you both don't get it?
No.
All right. Do you guys feel comfortable with the fake powder here if you have to? Or do you not get
I don't
mushroom?
get mushroom either.
Oh, you're not getting the mushroom either. Okay.
I
What
get it.
about you, Gab?
I don't get a mushroom either.
Oh wow. I will say that you both are very brave. I did the same thing personally, but I will tell you, most people drop mushroom around 127, 126. So if that's ever a concern, you know, you're going into video with 2 or 3 hearts, you might want to consider picking up the mushroom because it's only a couple seconds. And it might be the reason you saved the run. So just something to consider. But if no one's fake powdering, then I guess we don't have to go over it. How do people feel about the Vidi fight? I see you guys in there. Okay, for completionist's sake, I just wanted to mention it is worth menuing to bow when you get to this hole here. And that way you can go around the torch to the side. So I menu like right about here to bow, and then I hold up to go around this torch. I think that Moogle was saying that it only saves like a small amount of time, but I don't think it's too bad. So to do the whole room together, like that, and then I just nudge it, and then I'm in through the door, like that. So,
How do you get up the stairs?
say it again.
How do you get out of the stairs?
Oh, I hold up.
Get...
You hold up to about here, and then you're gonna dash
Okay.
turn left. Yeah.
Okay. That's what I'm doing.
I just wanted to show the second half of that room. But I do think spending time with Vidi is a good one, because I find I catch a lot of mentees don't know the full thing. So there is like a perfect like script to fighting Vidi to make sure you get a 0 cycle, and I figured we would at least go over that. So this is the first boss we get to go over together. Let me know when you're ready, Gab, on that. Okay. All right. So Vidi. I'm already menued on bow. Good. All right. So the first thing you want to do is you want to walk up to this glob and slash left, and then you're going to walk to this spot right here. So that's the first one. So let's start with phase 1. Well, it helps when you get the spin attack on. And then that's what you want as your first spin attack. So that is step 1. And you want to touch this like space and then make your way in to get a spin attack here. It is more important to lean to the left because you want to clean off you want to remove the 4 eyeballs on the left side. You see how the left side is clear now? So that is definitely the goal. If you are too far to the right, you may not catch this leftmost eye, and then you're going to have to deal with them later, which is really annoying. So why don't you guys first do this movement that I'm doing. And you notice I'm not going too high. Like, I'm making sure the spin attack is hitting the top ones, and I'm only going here. You see where I'm standing? I'm like almost on the bottom of that, like, the oval that is Vidi, and I'm able to reach all of it. That's honestly very important to practice as minimal of movement as possible, so you're not going too high that you have to return back down to get out of the goop. This is a very good spot to be. So yeah, let's make sure we get those first 2 cardinal movements. So BDI, it's more of cardinal movements that I'm doing, and then it's like down, up. How do I explain this? I walk down, I hold up left, and then I walk right. That's kind of it. I'm kind of making a triangle here. And the first spin I should mention is just left and up. There's no curving at all. It's just slash left and then up into the spot. Then it's down, down left, and then up right, and then right. Say that again.
Yeah, down, up, down slash up left. Right.
Yes. Just a little more walk to the left there. Yes. You got to walk down a little bit further there, BDI. So I want to warn you, Gab, if you don't face down, you may sword poke some of the eyeballs, and that'll be a problem when you come out. Yeah. You want to walk down first after the spin, the first spin, Gab. Here, Gab, just watch me one more time before you do the next one. What I want you to do is go left and up to right this spot. That's where I want you to start, right here. And then after you do the spin attack, we're going to walk down and charge, up left, then right. So I really want you to make that triangle on the second one, and that is going to allow you to dodge those eyeballs. That was a lot better. You could have been a little bit quicker to the diagonal up left, but otherwise that looked really clean. That's a lot better. So you want to up left into the space on the left after the spin. Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of happening. That looks a lot better, Gab. Nice. So, Gab, you're making a square after the first spin, and I want you to make more of a triangle. So it's do this first spin attack, walk down to hold your sword, then walk up left to the space, and then hold right. Rather than down left, up right. It should be an up left. Yes. And now you're gonna, exactly. That's it. Nice. That's much better.
Instead of doing the second spin.
You are probably not letting go of the spin attack soon enough, or there may be a movement where an eye is getting in your way, so I'd have to see which one you're sword poking. You are going too high off the when you walk into the goop the second time. Yeah, see where I'm standing? I'm like a little bit lower than you from where you were last time. I'm like almost in line with the lower eye line when I'm doing my spin attack. Yes, that's much better. Nice, Gab. Very nice. Alright, you guys ready for spin number 3? Alright. So, spin 1, spin 2, and then that is spin 3, and then you want to slash the remaining ones. And if you do slash the last one, the last 2, you have enough time for the 0 cycle. 1, 2, and now I get into position. So, let me see if I can slow this down for you where I'm standing. So I guess I'm holding down right, and then I slash right, and I kind of do a right, up, left into it. I don't want to be facing right though, but that's kind of what I'm doing. Yeah. So you're kind of trying to touch the goop on the right of the eyes as long as nothing goes after you, and you should be able to do it. You also could, if you wanted to, shoot an arrow, because you only have to shoot one arrow at the last one if you don't want to do 2 slashes. But I'm letting you know that when you are efficient with this, you'll have enough time to do the 2 slashes and then get the 0 cycle still. BDI, make sure that you are walking left enough for that RNG. That's why you got hit that last time, the time before it. Gab, you were very close. If you just walked up immediately after that spin, after you got out of the goop and slashed them twice, you would have had it. This is a very good fight to practice. There you go, you got it, BDI. Yep, now just shoot the arrows. If you could have shot the arrows actually earlier than that. Gab, don't walk down as much. As long as you're out of the goop, you can slash your sword. Yes. Oh, that's so much better, Gab. I like that a lot better. Yeah, you just had to move a little bit more left on that 3rd spin attack. Otherwise, you had that. Too far down again. Yeah. Unfortunately, if you don't have, like, crisp movement, the eyeballs might knock you out of it. Okay. Yeah, careful to make sure you're facing down when you go to do the spin attacks. So you may sword poke. Except for the first one. The first one you want to be facing left. But all the other ones you should be facing down. The other 2.
What's the part that is riveting?
Say that again.
What's the part of the goop that is doing damage?
What part of the goop is doing damage? It's about here. There's like a rectangle that's about here on you that is doing the damage. And the trick is you're trying to be as invincible as possible through this. So you should only be taking 1 heart on the first spin and getting out of there. But the other 2 spins, you're going to be taking 2 hearts each. So it should be a total of 5 hearts. But this is approximately your goop line of taking damage. Oh, you can't do the left side.
This side?
Yeah, it's only... Yeah, it's just not on the right
On
side.
the right side.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Just one tile.
I know. It's weird, right?
Nintendo change.
I know. I mean, I think I've pointed out a few rooms in this game that are not symmetrical. Yeah, I just think it was very close. I think you're just walking too far down a little bit on certain when you get out of the goop. I think that's what's punishing you the most. And yeah, be careful not to be facing left. So instead of like spamming sword, try to like get as close as you can to them and do like 2 slashes. You don't want to be like mashing B. You kind of just want to do slash slash. Like there's a timing to it, I guess is the better way of explaining it.
You're supposed to take an extra heart for the last 2 slashes as well.
Yes. Yes, you do. Yep, you're correct. Wow, I didn't hit that guy.
Like I'm trying to slash really low to not take that heart.
No, you are supposed to be taking that hit. You're absolutely right. And if you don't want to do that, just shoot 1 arrow. If you have a lot of arrows, then you can definitely do that. Ah, he just got out of your way, BDI. That was so stupid. Yeah, you're just like, you're still going a little too far down, BDI. Like when I'm getting out of the goop, I'm not going much lower than this. You need to be a little bit higher when you go back into goop to make sure you get that top left eye. This is where I'm standing when I am getting out of the goop, and I'm about here, this height. I would like to be a little bit more to the right bit. I'm about to sword poke, but I'm in line with that space, what appears to be a space on the left side that I'm telling you as a marker. That's the height I'm looking for. And this is about where I want to do the third spin. Approximately. It would help if I was facing down, but that's about where I want to do the spin attack here. I think that's it. Oh, you were just a little too slow. But that was generally, you just had to do a little bit cleanup there, BDI. Yeah, I think, Gab, you're still walking a little too far down, unfortunately.
Yeah, I also think I am very tired.
Okay, that's fair. It is late. This is definitely one of your later sessions, and that's kind of why I was hoping we would finish this. But yeah, I think if you watch how I do it, and then you kind of just try to break it down like I was doing, maybe break it down to the spins, it'll make more sense. But I understand. No, it is very late for you. I totally get that. Wow, I can't believe he's still alive. Just to let you know, the goop will always do 1 heart of damage, and the lightning will always do 2 hearts of damage no matter what. Just to point that out there. Be careful in the way that if you hold down as the lightning hits you, it'll actually push you upward. So it'll do the opposite. We haven't gotten to that point, but have you ever gotten hit by a Ganon and he just knocks you off? Like you're holding away from the hole and the damage pushes you towards the hole instead. You know what I'm talking about? It works similarly when it comes to the lightning. In that you don't want to be pressing down or holding down when you get hit. It'll push you upward, and then now you might get hit by an eye or something else, the goop, and kill you.
Alright, I'm ready to go.
Alright.
So, have a nice one.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yep. Have a good night.
I'm getting scared about this one. I'm going too far down.
That should do it. Oh, it counted as a sword poke because you held B. You had it though. Yeah, you're gonna have to move a little bit to the left when that eye is moving like that. Yeah, it just have to be a little bit low. You honestly have the 3 spins where you want them though. Yeah, that's just unfortunate that you didn't get the 3rd spin on all of them there. That sucks. Yeah. Hmm.
It's the last part.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to figure out if there's a recommendation for the 3rd. Because you seem to have 3 eyes often alive on the right side, and I feel like that doesn't happen too often. I'm trying to figure out if you're getting unlucky, where usually one of the right eyes have moved over and you get hit before. Because I usually have 2 eyes to clean up with 2 slashes. You could try to do the 2nd spin attack more towards the center to catch some of those inner eyes. Yeah, but you got to make sure. Yeah, unfortunately, you have to lean a little left to make sure you're cleaning up the left side, but you can try to lean more. Yeah. Now you should only have to deal with 2 eyes. There you go. I think that's the
That one
answer.
somehow didn't get hit in the spin.
You know what? It happens, unfortunately. He is a genius and, like, dodges all your spin attacks. Ah. You just had to slash that guy just a little bit quicker, but that's it. Yeah, you're gonna have to deal with 3 this time. Yeah. So I guess that's what it comes down to. The second spin needs to be a little bit more centered. Yeah. That should do it. That should clear at least 2. Ah, you just had to move a little bit more to the right. Yeah. That should deal with 2. Ah, he moved up. He dodged you. Yeah, be careful of that RNG. You want to make sure you walk left enough to dodge that eyeball. There you go. Oh my god, you're still too slow. Honestly, you're just right there. It's not, you're just a little too slow. That should do it. Oh my god, that's still not it. Damn. I really thought that was it.
There we go.
Yeah. And you don't have to stand that far low, just to let you know. Yeah. Basically where you're at right now is usually where I light up. That was actually perfect where you stood afterwards. And it'll just be easier for you to fire all those arrows. That's very good. Yep, you should only have to deal with that 1. Yeah, that first slash was just a little too early. Otherwise you had it. If you notice the sword poke is going to happen, you just have to like release the spin like as quickly as possible. Ah, a little bit lower. Yeah, for that guy. You don't want to be moving right after for the first spin attack. It's just left and up. Yeah. Should just be 2. Damn. I'm telling you right now, you're only like a few frames slow. There you go.
I think it's my positioning to get to the front slash. I was going like really far down or really far right or something.
That could definitely be part of it. If you're walking too far down out of the goop, you've given yourself more distance to go back into the goop in a sense. You want to go more left. There you go. Yeah, that's just kind of a mess. You're going to have to take... Yeah. I would definitely say if there's 3 eyes left, or maybe even 4, you might want to start just shooting arrows to hopefully catch the 0 cycle. Unless you're okay with 1 cycle. You know. But there are plenty of... It's not. It's like... 100%. Oh, 100%. It's about 2-3 seconds. I think per cycle. Yeah, I think an eyeball got you that time. Yeah.